we're go. Hello, YouTube. And this is Let's Talk episode 2. You can clearly see I have some changes. I decided to add some shaders to the world to make it a bit more interesting and a bit more pleasing on the eyes. You'll also notice that I have changed my microphone because I felt like the microphone I was using previously was off for some reason for a lack of better terms. And the third thing that is different with today is it is currently 4:56 in the morning. Um, I do not wake up this early. I was just feeling like playing Minecraft and could not go to sleep. So I decided to boot up the world and just record a video for you guys to watch. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So, Um, we have some iron, and I made some food. On our last episode, I made some iron armor, and that is where we concluded. So, what I want to do today is get us some diamonds. So, what we're going to go ahead and do is drop all of this stuff over here and bring this here. And let's make some more torches. And we have some of those. And let's make ourselves a bucket so we can travel with water. And I think we're good to go. So, I hope you guys are having a wonderful morning, day, and or night, depending on when you're watching this video. I also hope that you guys are willing to, leave some comments, any ways I can improve the series again, as I said, because I really do appreciate all of the comments that I can get because I really am trying to make this the best best form of content that you guys are able to get out of me, which is also why again I decided to, add some shaders, change up the microphone. And if you guys feel like maybe the shaders are a bit too much, or if you think the old microphone sounded better, just go ahead and let me know in the comments. And also just tell me how you guys are doing. Tell me how your day is, what you guys are appreciative for. Let's get those feels out there, you know? And speaking of feels, while we traverse into the depths of the cave over here, let's go ahead and talk about my previous poem. Because, like I said, at the end of every episode, we read a poem, and at the beginning of every episode, I explain to you guys what that poem was about. So, last episode, I read to you my poem, Still is the Water, or the alternate title, Calm and Content. And the whole point behind it was, oh yeah, sorry. Let's just go ahead and get those diamonds right there. Oh no, the bat died. Oh no. Well, that was, first of all, a lot quicker than expected. I was not expecting to get those diamonds that quickly, but a two vein right off the bat. I mean, come on, guys. This is three? This is amazing. Four? Okay, come on. I mean, we might get ourselves a full set of diamond armor, you know? This is really looking great. This is a great way to start today's episode. I mean, we're only a couple minutes in, maybe even like 2 minutes possibly. And this is great start so far, guys. Come on. And again, as I was saying, um, I wrote that poem because at the time of writing it, I had very recently gotten out of, I guess you could say, a talking stage. It's a term that a lot of people have started using a lot more recently to describe a person you're not necessarily romantically involved with, but you guys know you are more than friends. There's something romantic there. So me and this person were in that talking stage, and it ended very, very abruptly, you know? I tried my best. I feel like I did all I could, I provided the best I could, but sometimes things don't work out, which is fine, but sometimes you also find out that while things might not work out, it also doesn't always have to be your fault necessarily. And after seeing how things ended, I also realized that while I tried my best, I might have tried giving too much of my best, which is why you'll hear in that poem I mentioned the metaphor of filling a bucket. So the bucket metaphor is meant to represent how much effort I was putting in, and the hole mentioned within the bucket is meant to represent the loss of the effort that I was putting in, because after finding out some things I wasn't very, very happy to find out about, it made me feel like a lot of the effort I gave in was pointless, and that I kind of did it for nothing, and that it was unappreciated from that person, which, I mean, it sucks, but I mean, sometimes that's kind of how things are, you know? But, feeling that and not really knowing how to process it at the time, and being shown that form of poetry, it really allowed me to express some of that emotion that I wasn't really able to properly handle at the time. So saying that, there was a hole in the bucket is pretty much me saying that all that emotion and effort and trying that I put into that, I guess quote unquote relationship felt like it was going to nowhere, akin to a bucket with a hole in it, because I poured and poured and poured so much into it just for, nothing to come of it. Which, I mean, it was really disappointing. But, I mean, again, like I said, not everything is going to work out, which is okay and normal and, perfectly healthy, because not everything is going to work out in life. Not everything is going to go the way you would want it to. And that's that's the sucky part, but that's also just life. And, while the first half is full of, I guess you could say, sorrow, you see in the second half that it goes from sorrow to, I guess you can say, relief or acceptance, because it goes from being tired to becoming calm and content with what's happening, which is me kind of saying that I accepted the situation that had happened. And I kind of came to terms with realizing that while what had happened really sucked and I felt was very unfair to me, it already happened. And while I really wouldn't have wanted things to end how they did, I couldn't change any of that. So what I decided to do is refrain from, you know, pouring into broken buckets and actually focusing on me. Because looking back, I felt like I had kind of lost a bit of that. And, I was so focused on this pursuit of this person that I forgot to pursue in myself. which, if you don't already know, at least in my opinion, is the most important thing you can do because no one is going to put as much effort into yourself as you can, which is why I speak about pouring into my own bucket, allowing myself to give the effort that I feel like I deserved and giving myself the appreciation that I wanted from someone else. Because if no one is going to do it for you do it for you. So I feel like that was the best way I could describe what my poem was about, and I hope you guys are able to understand that from my little explanation, and I hope that for anybody who didn't understand it the first time around, that with that little explanation, you're able to appreciate it a bit more with some more understanding. Or if you interpreted it some way else, I hope that that interpretation helped you in a way. It gave you some clarity, or maybe you felt like you could connect to it, and I really hope you do, because I feel like that's just what all this stuff is about. It's all about connecting. And I just want to say, man, this biome is absolutely beautiful. Also, 10 diamonds, guys, 10 diamonds so far. We really might get a full set of diamond armor. Well, with that other segment out of the way, holy cow, another thing of diamonds. This is insane, guys. 15 diamonds. We only need 9 more, and we can get a full set of diamond armor. That would be crazy. Like, it would be crazy to get that quick. Anyways, another thing I'd kind of like to talk about, staying on that topic of relationships and all that other stuff is I feel like something that would be, kind of interesting to talk about is how we are affected by the relationships we strive for. Oh, diamonds, yeah. In other words, I find it very common that people nowadays look for relationships, whether that be romantic or friendships. I just feel like people nowadays more than ever are looking for connection, which isn't something wrong, but I feel like we're looking for the connection in the wrong way because, I have friends of mine or colleagues of mine that, oh no, wrong button. Colleagues of mine that they tell me and they're like, oh, Damien, I want to talk to this person, or oh, this and that. And, I hear them out, but I always see, somewhat of the same issue, and it's trying to go towards people that make it so obvious that they not necessarily aren't interested, but they don't give the same effort that those who are willing to seek out those relationships, they aren't giving that effort. And I mean, not everybody's gonna give, that same effort towards others, which is normal. You can't expect that of everybody. But I find it disappointing that they get stuck in these holes of doubt or sadness because they end up becoming disappointed that the people that they're striving so hard to have this connection with, that they aren't, giving them their time of day. Which, I mean, it's really disappointing, and I know it sucks, but oh no. Okay, that was close, guys. Anyways, as I was saying, hold on one second. Just gonna. I love the Minecraft music, but getting a little too loud, starting to not be able to hear myself. Anyways, you don't get that same time of day, which I feel like they deserve because they're those kind of people. And I feel like that's something that's becoming a lot more common now as I'm seeing it a bit more often from a lot of my friends, a lot of people that I know, that they're just looking for connection in the wrong places. Okay, just gotta kill this guy. Okay, we're good. Yeah, and so while trying to find that connection in those areas, I see that it's like a cycle. But what people need to realize is while you may want certain people to be there for you or be with you, it can't always be like that. And not everybody is willing to be there like that. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. No, 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 no. Okay, this is scary. No. No. 2 hours later. Oh no 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 no! Please 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 okay, please be here. Please be here. No way. No. No. So we lost our stuff. I have no words. I really did not want it to go that way. I did not expect that to happen. So, today was supposed to be about getting diamonds, and that just got postponed by a lot. So, in order to fix this, um, I'm just gonna go ahead and jump cut to us with iron armor. Okay, so I guess while I'm here collecting food, I wanted to say, I feel like this is, again, not how I wanted things to go, but it kind of proves my point a bit, you know. Again, it really sucks, but like I said, sometimes things just don't go the way you'd want. you know, in this case, you know, I died and lost all of my items, which is very disappointing. But, you know, sometimes it just doesn't work out. And like I said, you know, just gotta roll with the punches. And you know, while I could have just gone in creative mode or something and given myself all my stuff back, I'm not gonna do that because then, you know, what was the point of me saying all that stuff? You know, it kind of gets thrown out the window and defeats the purpose. So, you know, we're just gonna come here, try and get some iron stuff. I was walking around and I found like this huge cave, which I have no idea how I missed. Holy cow. Yeah, I have no idea how I missed this the first time around. But yeah, it looks like this huge cave. And I'm hoping that it holds some good stuff. And I'm also hoping I do not die again. Because that would be really sad and I'd be really sad. But yeah. And we're gonna get this iron. We're gonna make ourselves some, you know, good old-fashioned iron armor. And then, hopefully, our hunt for diamond armor is back on. So I will see you guys when I have full iron armor.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Okay, guys. I am alive? Barely? Um, I don't know how I did that. We are good for now. Um, yeah. Yeah, I really don't know. Uh, this is normal mode, guys. This is normal mode. Come on. And that's because I thought bedrock skeletons were bad. I mean, like, this is... I mean, like, come on. What is this? Guys, come on. Normal mode, like... 2 more hours later. Alright, so now that we're here, a bit more comfortable, I think we can get back into our conversation. So, as I was saying a good while ago now, it is currently 6 in the morning already. I think I started at about 5. It's been about an hour. Um, Finding relationships, I feel like whether that be you're looking for friends or, you know, romantic relationships, just relationships in general should be geared more towards, I feel like, people you can connect with. Because I feel like when you're searching for connection, you shouldn't search for just people, but genuine, connection. Because what's the point in looking for somebody to experience things with if, you can't even hold a simple conversation? Oh, come on, guys. I'll help you out, man. Not you. Okay. Think we're good? Yeah, yes, please, maybe so. Okay. Yeah. You should be searching for genuine connection, not just some person to, waste time with. Because if that's all you're going to be doing, what's the point? Also, thank you, Mr. Creeper, for mining those diamonds for me. And that piece of gold. But yeah, that's something I've seen a lot, which it's something I personally don't understand. Because at least the way I see it, I wouldn't understand a reason to go into something just for the sake of, wasting time or just trying to pass the days with some person that you don't even properly know. But of course, the main reason behind that is, just people don't understand that sometimes you need time for you, you know? Sometimes you need to pour into your own bucket, which I feel like is something that is kind of forgotten about now. And I feel like if we forget that, then we begin to just lose a lot of hard work that we ourselves have done to improve upon ourselves. Because we spend all our lives doing all these things, spending all this time so that we ourselves can grow as people, just to throw ourselves at whoever comes by for a couple minutes of entertainment. Which, if you really look at it, I mean, it's disappointing, you know? Because why would you want to put all your time and effort into something or someone that hardly even knows you? And if those people, if you feel like because they're already there that you can't, oh my lord. Okay, guys, come on. There's one, two, three, four skeletons and a creeper. Like, what am I supposed to do there, guys? I mean, really, come on. Okay, so what we're gonna do is get a crafting table, and we're making some diamond armor, Don't you dare. Come on, come on. Okay. Whew. Close. Then we're gonna make a new shield, and then we're gonna come over here, and we're gonna get some glowberries because I have no food whatsoever. So we're gonna go ahead and eat some of these. Well, that was odd. Okay, it's cool how with the shaders they glow, but kinda need to eat. Aw, come on. Guys, really? Another creeper? I mean, can I at least get like a bit of a break here? Just died and lost all my stuff. Okay, let's go get this food. No. I'll avenge him, don't worry, guys. I'll get full diamond armor in his name. Don't worry, guys. Okay, man. Okay, so back to what I was saying. If you feel like, because you already have these people in your lives and that because of that you can't, I guess restart, don't feel trapped. And if you're not trapped, don't feel like they hold you back. Because while it may seem a little scary, like that, nice diamonds. While it may seem scary, sometimes it's okay to restart from things. You know, for example, I died and lost all my things. That's me restarting. And, dealing with all these mobs is kind of scary, but sometimes things are gonna be scary. They're gonna be uncomfortable. They're gonna be different. And, that's just how life is gonna be. It's not gonna let you do all the things the way you want. It's not gonna let you get everything your way, and it's definitely not gonna allow you to get diamond armor on your first try. But that's life. That's the way things go. So, sometimes it's okay to restart. It's okay to change things up. It's scary, it's new, and I doubt anybody enjoys all that stuff, but sometimes it's necessary. Change is necessary, which is another thing I feel like some people don't truly understand the importance of change. Everybody hears the whole, well, getting older, you're changing, things are changing. Yes, physically. But I feel like what a lot of people forget is changing as a person. You can grow 5 feet tall and, you know, all this and that, but you also need to grow as a person. You can't think the same way you thought whenever you were 5 years old compared to, however old you are now. Also, I'm using bone meal so I can get some food. But yeah, you can't just grow physically. You also need to grow mentally because without that, you really aren't growing. You could be as tall as you want, as big as you want, have all the facial hair in the world, but if you still think a certain way, have you really grown? That's what, I want to leave you with is have you really grown? And if your answer seems to be no, then you gotta make some changes because change is important. Change is necessary and change is good. Now, that being said, I think, hold on, I think we have enough. Oh, come on. I think we happen to have just the right amount. Yes, look at that, guys. A full set of diamond armor, and we have just enough for a couple tools. So let's get that. Let's get that. I will keep the iron axe because I don't really think I need a diamond axe just yet, and I still want some for an enchantment table. But with that being said, this was a definitely an interesting way to end the episode. But we did get our goal. We got diamond armor. And as always, with this being the end of my episode, let's go ahead and read a poem. Now, as I scroll through my phone and look for the poem, I just want to tell you guys I really hope you enjoy the video. And while the first episode was a bit all over the place, this one is going to be a bit more all over the place. But either way, I still really hope you guys enjoyed. And if there's any comments, concerns, questions that you guys have, please go ahead and drop them in the comment section below. And by all means, please go and tell me some things that you guys might want to change or things you think I should do differently. If you guys think the shaders are a bit off or maybe the pacing is a bit weird, just go ahead and tell me. Also, next episode, we are definitely gonna try and build some kind of house because I am tired of these caves. I spent these past 2 episodes mining and I am so done. And with all that being said, I have today's poem for you. So let's get started. Past actions that pull strings, regrets from those who know better. Every time it feels like a question, should I ever try again? Every time it feels like a statement. Now in a place so eerily familiar, as time repeats itself, leading to the present. I hope you guys enjoyed. And remember, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. I will see you guys in the next one.